You just have to develop the right skill set, be on the right side of the affairs and ethics, and focus on the core values of the profession. The core value of this profession is not to give a law firm global branding, but to serve the client. If you are able to take away the pain points of your clients, then that client will automatically make you a brand.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Superlawyer YouTube channel. Today we have with us Advocate Gaurav Dhwaj, who is founder and managing partner of Dhwaj and Associates. His specialities are legal and regulatory practices which relate to telecom, media, and information technology sectors. Also, commercial contracts, litigation, and arbitration. Most welcome, sir, to our channel and to accepting our invitation. I know you are absolutely busy person, so I'll quickly start with the first and very pertinent question. When did you decide to do law? How did you decide to become a lawyer? And how was your school days and college days and the kind of experiences or inspirations that you got from there and motivated yourself to becoming a lawyer the way you are today? Floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much, Divya. First of all, thank you very much for having me. I am deeply honored to be on this platform and will be very happy to reflect on the queries which you have about me, about the profession, about my understanding of the profession as well. So, addressing your first query, I think I would like to start with my school days. I have sort of always been very energetic and excited to explore new opportunities, new challenges, and new things at that point in time. I believe some bit of it is still there in me. So, if there is any activity which is going on in this school, whether it is a debate competition or it is essay writing or it is storytelling or it is poem, you name it, and I would be there in addition to studies, like, obviously. So I have been very participating kid and have always participated in almost all activities I could possibly participate. So have been a sort of very eventful childhood, and that has continued even, I believe, till date. The same approach continued during my college days. In addition to this, I have also been introduced to NCC during my college days, which I undertook. And I was also awarded for shooting and for cooking, which is like a deadly combination, cooking and shooting during the NCC days. So have been pretty eventful journey of my school and the college days. Then motivation to do law. Actually, I am a second generation lawyer. So I did my graduation in computer science. I actually did BCA, Bachelor of Computer Applications. And I was all set to take admission in Master of Computer Application. But then there are certain things which is sort of common between my personality and the profession of law. So I am also driven by intellectual challenges, which is there in the legal profession as well. I am personally also in a quest of continuous learning opportunities. I look for the opportunities where I can learn new skill set. I can develop myself beyond a kind of a personal and the professional approach which I have. And because I have participated in so many things during my school and college days, I can say that I have a very fearless approach of dealing issues, which I believe all three things, intellectual challenges, continuous learning opportunity, and fearless approach is what is sort of common between my personality and the legal profession. So when I actually seriously thought about it, then I feel that my personality is and my approach is anyways linked to the legal profession. So might as well explore this opportunity. And as I said that I am a second generation lawyer, so I have always seen my father practicing this profession. He was a litigation lawyer and was also my role model. He has a great influence on my life and has also sort of helped me solidify my decision of taking up law as a profession.
What a beautiful story. And the way you have said that he is your role model, it seems that yes, he has paved your way towards greatness, I would say. That being said, when did you decide to establish Dhwaj and Associates? And how was the journey and how has it been till now with all the challenges I'm pretty sure you must have faced after the inception? And how have you built a name for this particular association?
So I started as an in-house counsel with the Tata Group of Companies and Bharti Group of Companies. After spending almost 2 years as an in-house counsel in these organizations, then my law firm journey started. So I have worked for big law firms of the country on almost all positions, starting from junior associate or associate to a partner level, head of the practice area as well. So journey has been very, very interesting, has been very rewarding, has been sort of very likable, if I can say. I don't hesitate in saying that law and the legal profession is a sort of a first love of my life. So and then when I served on almost all positions which a law firm has to offer, then later on I decided to set up my own firm with the name Dhwaj and Associates. I started as a solo practitioner when I founded this firm, but have been fortunate enough to now have a team of very good and competent lawyers. We now have two offices. One is in Delhi NCR, one is in Noida, and the second office is in Bangalore. Because I did my graduation, first graduation in computer science and second in law, that is why technology and telecom practice is a sort of a obvious choice for me. So except my first job, which is with the Tata Group of companies, from the second job onwards, I have always been in the telecom and the IT space. So when I set up this firm, was an associate, the idea was basically to be a boutique TMT law firm, but have been fortunate enough, met with good people, committed people who are not only committed to the practice area, but are committed to the profession. And they supported me and helped me to make it a full service law firm. Now, as we speak, currently we are a full service law firm operating from two places, as I said, Noida and Bangalore.
First of all, sir, congratulations on that. And I'm pretty sure it is going to even grow leaps and bounds. As you said, that law is love of your life. That love of your life has awarded you also a lot as a leader in law for your support to Amtron and the Ministry of Information Technology Government of Assam is absolutely a significant achievement. We would request you to elaborate on that if possible, the kind of experience that you had doing that kind of work, and that too with the ministry. How did you cater to the work? How did you approach towards a solution? Because obviously there are obstacles when you are doing such big work and great work.
So connecting with Amtron was one of the best moments of my life, if I can say. Award is something which is a subsequent conduct of the work and the effort which you put in to develop and help your client. So my moment of excitement has always been with connecting people, helping them, guiding them, supporting them, hand holding them in all possible ways, enabling them to navigate the challenges of the legal profession, to navigate the challenges of the transaction, which currently they are doing and unable to find a legal solution. Then award and recognition follows. I have never been follower of awards and recognition, but has always been a follower of connecting with new people with the pure intention of helping them with all possible skills which I may have. So meeting with Amtron was one of those moments. I still remember I was speaker in one of our conferences in Dubai. It was a conference related to IT sector. And if I remember it correctly, because it's been more than 7, 8 years. So I was speaking on interception in that conference, which at that point in time was not a very evolved concept in India, specifically in the telecom sector context. So I was speaking in that conference, and this gentleman who was the MD of Amtron. Amtron is actually Assam Electronic Development Corporation Limited, and it is 100% owned and controlled by the government of Assam. So this gentleman was the moderator of that session, and that's how I got introduced to him. And then when we came back India, one fine day, I got a call from his office that, we are working on a transaction where we need help of a corporate lawyer who has the capability to understand the telecom and the IT sector. We believe you have that capability. Would you be able to help us in this transaction? So I said, yeah, why not? And that's how my journey with Amtron started. They initially started working with me for legal affairs. Later on, they also started involving me for their regulatory works. And subsequently, they also handed over me not only the legal and regulatory work, but also the international domain. So when I say international, which means that whatever investment they would receive from overseas or whatever investment they would make overseas, I represent them on all those deals, not only in terms of taking care of the legal documentation, but also in terms of the actual representation. So that has been an introduction of Mtron and my connect with it. As far as the award is concerned, this experience not only allowed me to apply my legal expertise to the real world challenges, but also deepened my understanding of the intersection between law, technology, and domestic and international business houses operating in the field of technology. What is their perspective? What is the sentiment of our international business house with regard to coming into a commercial relationship with a state PSU? What is their sentiment about India? How do they perceive? What are the challenges they see and they face? So we'll have also got some exposure and visibility, maybe a bird eye view, but some visibility on that aspect as well. So it actually reinforced my commitment to leveraging my legal skills for public service. And it definitely and significantly boosted my professional credibility and visibility in the legal community.
While listening to it, seems like it was a journey which just came to you and you took it and made sure that you are successful in it. And it's amazing to know that being a second generation lawyer also, you are so humble and you actually are accepting that this is how it has happened. Many a times we have seen that not everyone is that open to saying, okay, someone came to me and I got that particular opportunity. Usually, so that's how it happens. But sometimes I have seen the humbleness in a human being, especially lawyers, has paid them great deal, especially in the field which is new, because not everyone is ready to accept you as you are. Like you being a BCA, then a lawyer, you said that I picked up technology law and you are doing so great, but I have not seen that particular fascination about technology law, especially at least in Indian fraternity. For some reason, I don't know, I found that particular apprehension. So that being said, I request you to let us understand about how you started Dhwaj and Associates.
So I started Dhwaj and Associate lately. So after completing my 2 years as an in-house counsel, I joined another law firm, which is the biggest law firm of the country now, and have worked with tier one law firms all through. Then after spending 15, 16 years in the profession, then I decided to set up my firm, Dhwaj and Associates. So it's not immediately after spending 2 years as in-house counsel. I worked for law firm also for good, I think 14, 15 years after those 2 years. And then gaining substantive experience, not only in India, but overseas as well. Then I decided to set up my firm.
Wow, amazing, sir. Over these 18 years of your experience, how has all this top tier law firm, Tata Group, and Bharti Foundation, how have they shaped your thought process? Because when you started your law firm, there must be something going on because you said you were the solo practitioner then. So, how did you decide? How did you get that particular courage first? And what would be your suggestions to people who are very much interested in doing so, but a little, I would say, scared or maybe skeptical of whether they will get the similar approach or similar reach out as you may have got? So, how have you planned this? And we would request you to give us a sort of a roadmap if possible.
Sure, I'll definitely try. First of all, I would like to start with a word of thanks to all my former employers who actually showed trust in me, gave me the opportunity to perform, provided me the platform where I could not only develop myself as a professional, but on a personal front as well. My experience so far while working as an in-house counsel and as a private practitioner while working with these law firms, I believe that I gained invaluable experience that significantly shaped my professional outlook. For a legal professional working in a law firm, it is very important to understand the perspective of the client. So because I came from the in-house background, it helped me understanding the pain points of the business houses. It gave me a capability to step into the shoes of my clients and then see the entire transaction or the entire issue where they require a legal help from their perspective. I am a firm believer of this philosophy that if you are a business lawyer, it is important for you to understand the business of your client. Because if you don't understand the business adequately, you may not be able to float business viable solutions. Because most of the times, our solutions are not our legal opinions, legal memorandums, research notes. They are not only for the general counsels or the legal team of any company. At times, these opinions also land on the table of management, and they would want to understand it. They are not from the legal background, so perhaps it is very important for them that the approach of a lawyer is closer to the approach of the management or not. Then only your legal opinion would make any sense to the management. Otherwise, these opinions will generally be turned around to the lawyers, in-house lawyers. They would read it, they would understand it, and they will sort of then communicate it to the management. So I believe that it is very important for lawyers working with law firms to put some effort and understand the business of the client, the intention of the client, and the pain points of the client before starting on the mandate or before working on any transaction related to that client. Because I came before joining the law firm, as I said, that I was part of the in-house team where you get to sit with the business team on a regular basis. You interact with them. You have a freedom to ask them some free questions, which can help you gain the business understanding. This is, I think, very important for every corporate lawyer. You just cannot start working on a document without understanding the nature of the business and the intention of the client with regard to that particular transaction. So I think I could manage to develop that sense while working as in-house counsel. And it actually helped me in my law firm journey. And it is helping me even today. This is what I want to put in the DNA of our firm, Dhwaj and Associate, to keep the client first, to keep the interest of the client first, and to serve the client. In order to serve the client, it is important for you to understand the client. So understanding of the client, understanding of the business of the client, understanding of the pain points of the client are condition precedents before you start working on any transaction.
There is so much clarity about the way you have approached towards establishing not only your firm, but establishing your repute also over 18 years of practice, be it as in-house counsel or now as a practitioner. All of these years, sir, you must have seen a lot of changes in the kind of technologies that we use, the kind of emerging tech that is coming up now, especially IoT, AI, cloud computing, drones, online gaming for that matter. These have also impacted our legal framework. Legislation is trying to accommodate everything, but how do you approach these areas when clients come to you, because you are practicing in such a niche field, which is absolutely new, I would say, to many lawyers present in India especially. So that is kind of things which now new generation lawyers want to understand, that how have you made your name in that particular niche field with such ease? Was it only your technological understanding, or what kind of approach did you take in order to understand, like you said, your client, their needs, how to approach and serve them? We would request you to explain a little bit about these aspects as well.
Well, to be honest with you, I never thought of it. It's just me. But now, since you are raising this question, if I look back, perhaps it is a combination of quite a few things. One is definitely my understanding of the technology sector, because I was a student of technology for good 3 years before taking up law. So my understanding of the technology sector, then I think over a period of time, I also developed this skill set of merging facts, merging requirement of the client with the legal and the regulatory framework of the country. Because till the time you don't understand the fact, and till the time you don't marry it properly with the applicable legal and regulatory framework, it is difficult to come with a clear, fair, and legally accepted solution for the client. So I think it's a combination of these three, four things. Now, addressing your query related to the emerging technologies, I believe these emerging technologies, like as you rightly said, IoT, cloud computing, online gaming, AI, ML, robotics, they're actually and significantly impacting the legal framework, creating both opportunities and challenges simultaneously. I believe that these technologies raise new legal issues related to, if I can name a few, I believe related to data privacy, cybersecurity, definitely IPR, and obviously the regulatory compliances. So they have definitely opened up some new avenues which the law would have to now accommodate in its overall approach. And the kind of advice which I would like to float to people is basically, I think I want to recommend them, not an advice, but want to recommend them that it is important these days for everyone to stay informed. It is also, I think, important to keep on engaging with the industry bodies to understand the development, not only the technological development, but also the entire ecosystem around it, which necessarily include the legal aspect. Also to engage with professionals. I mean, engage with experts in a bigger bracket, if we can say. Consult with legal and the industry experts to understand the implication of new technology and to ensure that the new technology which they are contemplating implementing or floating in the industry, whether it is compliant with the existing legal and regulatory framework or not. To also implement the best practices, which means that to adopt industry best practices for some of the points which may come under the legal radar, such as I mentioned, data security, data privacy, IPR, cybersecurity, and regulatory compliances. They may also consider proactive risk management, which could perhaps be a part of engaging with the expert, as I explained, in order to also identify potential legal, financial, and operational risk as early as possible and develop a robust strategy to mitigate such risk. And I believe these are some of the inputs which I would want to give. Considering these steps, clients can navigate the complexities of emerging technologies and can be able to leverage the business opportunities these technologies can open for them.
Sir, like you agree to keep abreast with the new upcoming legislations and the kind of news which we get every day. Recently, we saw the enactment of the new Telecommunication Act 2023. How do you see the impact of this particular act on telecom sector, and what kind of advices would you be offering the companies to navigate, if possible, in this new regulatory landscape? Because I'm pretty sure you must have gone through it very thoroughly, and we would request you to give some insights about it as well.
So the new Telecom Act is sort of a welcome move, I would say, because the earlier act, which was governing the telecom sector, the major operations of the telecom sector, and also facilitating the licenses to telecom service provider, was the Telegraph Act and was pretty old. Now, the new Telecommunication Act of 2023, actually, it was enacted, received the assent of the president, and also published in the official gazette of Government of India in December 2023. Then on 21st of June this year, government came with the notification to partially make it effective, which means close to 40 sections of that act have now been implemented. Not the complete act, but also in the first phase, they have decided to implement, I believe, 39 sections of the act. And what is very impressive about the act is as follows. One is the extraterritorial applicability of the Act, which was absent in the previous framework. In the old regime, it was absent. It was only first time introduced in the IT Act, Information Technology Act of 2000. But then in the telecommunications sector, in the Telegraph Act, it was absent. So the extraterritorial applicability has been given as a provision under this new Telecommunication Act of 2023, which means that if you commit any kind of a offense or some kind of a contravention while sitting outside India, which is related to the telecommunication service and the telecommunication network of India, then this act will be applicable on you. So I think this is one thing which I could remember. The second is the online resolution of disputes. The third is a complete chapter, a complete and evolved framework related to penalty in case of contravention. Third is this time they have done a wonderful job by covering almost all telecom activities or activities which are secondary but being facilitated by the telecommunication services and were outside the ambit of the previous act. In fact, not only the previous act, but also outside the ambit of the regulatory framework. With the previous act, there was a kind of a gap between the administrative and the regulatory position and the society and the technological development on which the telecom sector has been growing. So there was a kind of a gap. This time, the government has adopted an approach and tried to minimize that gap, try to come closer to the technologically development. So whatever new services the telecom sector has started providing in the last few years, they have tried to cover it under the Telecommunications Act. So it's a wonderful move. I am still hopeful that the government will soon come up with the second notification and make the complete act applicable and have it implemented as soon as possible. It is not only for the benefit of the telecom service providers, but it is also beneficiary for the users. There are some provisions which are directly benefiting the users. So it is for the overall development and a beneficiary for the overall sector of telecommunication in India.
Hopefully, sir, we'll get the whole act notified soon. But congrats on at least starting with the new thing, which, as you said, on 21st June, it came into being with 39 sections. So all of that was about your professional life. We would request you to enlighten us with the way, how do you maintain your work-life balance, and how is it that you get time for your hobbies or maybe something recreational where you can take your mind off from all these stressful things and have a mentally peaceful space for yourself.
So I think in the personal space, I have been very fortunate to have a very loving and caring family, starting from my wife, my sisters, my mother, my kids. I just love spending time with my kids. I have two sons. They are school going kids currently, and I love spending time with them. I think they have been instrumental in keeping the sanity in me because legal profession is very demanding. I mean, the level of commitment in the legal profession is very high. It's almost impossible for you to shut down the laptop and also to shut down your mind and don't think anything about the work. It's very difficult, specifically when you are acting in a capacity of a managing partner of a firm, because you are not only responsible for the quality delivery to the client, but you are also responsible for managing the operations of a law firm. You are always in middle of hundreds of things which are related to client delivery, at times are not related to client delivery, at times related to human resource which you have, at times related to technology and management and so on and so forth. But then I'm very fortunate to have a support of my family, blessings of Almighty, and livelihood kept intact in my life by my two kids. And I also like reading poetry, so I also have a sort of flavor for it.
Wow. So you practically enjoy all of your serious work as well as poetry. Along with your kids, you keep your sanity intact. So all that being said, we had a wonderful journey with your interview. Towards very end, I would request you to let us know about your plans for Dhwaj and Associates and how do you foresee yourself progressing in the direction of making it more national and internationally renowned, because that is something which I guess is very close to your heart. And the kind of firm services which we see today, how are you going to have a little different aspect or approach towards it? We would request you to share, if at all you wish.
Yeah, definitely. First of all, because I have been on the other side of the table, I have worked in capacity of an employee. That is why I believe that I fairly understand the pain points of an employee. That is the reason why I have adopted a sort of an institutional approach over the individual approach in setting up this firm. I'll take 30 seconds to explain this when I say institutional approach over the individual approach. First of all, I don't know whether I actually have the aspiration to make it a globally recognized law firm, but I definitely want to work with global clients. That's definitely for sure. I am not very concerned about branding or putting much of energy in making it a brand. I would rather want to put my energy in helping people. My belief is anything and everything in this world can be achieved by connecting with good set of people, developing a right skill set. I think that's very important. If you are surrounded by capable, like-minded people, your intentions are pure, and you have the adequate skill set, you will be fit, you will be successful, you will be recognized, without putting much of an effort. You just have to develop the right skill set, be on the right side of the affairs and ethics, and focus on the core values of the profession. The core value of this profession is not to give a law firm global branding, but to serve the client. It is a customer facing industry, which means that customer is a king. If you are able to support, if you are able to take away the pain points of your clients, then that client will automatically make you a brand. So to be honest, I don't think I am putting much of an effort to make it a brand. That's one. Second is, as I said, that I understand the pain point of the employee. I want to make it an institution which is not only standing at my back, which is not only supporting the managing partner or the management of the firm. I want to make it a firm which is supporting to everyone who is associated with the firm, irrespective of the hierarchy. It is people's firm. All those who are working with the firm, I tell them and I keep on telling them that it is your firm, it is your office. No matter you leave this office, you cease working for us and you start your own practice. If you want to use my office, please feel free to use my office as your own, run your own practice from here. I don't mind. It's not about a fancy infrastructure, trust me, Divya. It's about capable people. It's about people. It has always about people for me at least. So I am trying to collect as many as possible competent people with right skill set, putting my entire energy and effort to acquire the right talent from the industry. I believe that if you have people and if you serve the client, they will make it a brand.
So ultimately, you will be a brand, courtesy to the clients that you will be serving. So Dhwaj and Associates is going to be a global brand, and we wish you all the best for that. And thank
Thank you
you
very much.
for agreeing to meet with us, sir. It has been a very humbling experience and a very beautiful interview. Thanks for sharing your insights about it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Divya.